Ik ben een voorstander van meertaligheid.
Siya mi abogado para dua na lenguaje.
Por supuesto, apoyo la educación bilingüe.
我是一个提倡双语化。
Estoy a favor de para aprender las lenguas. Je suis absolument ravi que chaque personne doit apprendre des langues aussi. Und auf Deutsch würde ich sagen, dass Sprachen sind sehr wichtig in der Welt. Grazie mille.
Okay, so my name is Miel Steenbergen and I'm from the Netherlands. My first language is Dutch and I also speak English and a little bit of French and German.
Hi, I'm Jeffrey Mariano, and I have 4 languages in my back pocket.
Okay, my name is Maria Echenique and I am a professor of Spanish at the University of Portland.
Hi, my name is Jeanette Ewan and I speak Cantonese, Mandarin, and English.
My name is Eduardo Sotelo and I speak Spanish, English, French, German, a little Italian, and Swiss German as well.
She drank beer with Coca-Cola.
Okay, so we start fairly early in elementary school. I believe I was like 8 or 9. That's when we start learning English. So they take it really seriously in the Netherlands, and they find it very important that we learn English. Because I guess it like kind of historically it started as like us being a trade country, and we kind of depend on that. So we need to be able to speak different languages in order to do business with other countries.
My mom taught me Spanish when I was a little kid. The natural way, natural approach. And then it's my native language. Then I learned English at college in Cuernavaca. Then I moved to Europe and I went to college in the University of Lausanne in the French part. And then I learned German, and the Italian came like a little by little because it's very close to Spanish. And it relates also to French, so you can pick it up. I never learned officially Italian.
I myself studied languages since I was a child. In my home country in Latin America, learning English is very important. So I attended a school where English was taught since elementary school, and by the end I finished the school. I had an intermediate level of language, and I decided to improve my skills by being an exchange student in the United States.
Okay, so the hardest part is the speaking part because, like I said, we watch movies and shows in English, so we hear it a lot. So it's really easy to improve our listening skills. But that's also what makes people think, in the Netherlands at least, that they're capable of like speaking English or they're really good at it. But then once they are forced to speak it or end up in a situation they need to speak, they realize that's like one of the hardest parts. Because when you listen to the word, you might recognize it, but thinking of it, it's like at a point of conversation, it's way different. And that's also what I noticed when I came to the US, that I was able to follow everything, or at least most of it, like in classes. I didn't have that much of a hard time to grasp what was like being taught, but I had a hard time expressing myself, or I was really scared to give presentations and talk in front of like big groups. Well, I'm not really like that when I had to give a presentation.
I was born in the Philippines, and when I was 4 years old, my family and I immigrated to Honolulu, Hawaii. Unfortunately, when we got to Hawaii, I did not know any English whatsoever, and so when I first started school, all my friends teased me about having an accent or being the fob, which is fresh off the boat. And so that made me cry, that made me feel bad about myself. I asked my parents all the time why this happened to me. And my parents told me that in order to succeed, in order to fit in, I had to learn English. It was a hard transition just because I didn't want to be in school, but at the same time, in order to learn English, I had to.
biggest obstacles is basically, being at a very young age, around 6, I had to translate for my parents, and it was really, really hard because, again, you're learning both English and Chinese at the same time.
I have seen in my own experience and the experience of my family, because my kids grew being bilingual here, that is really a great advantage in many senses. First, because different language opens you access to a different world, a different culture, different points of view, different values, different visions of the world, and in that sense opens your mind, makes you a more understanding, tolerant citizen, a citizen of the world that can go beyond the frontiers of their own culture. Also, in practical terms, the fact that you learn 2 languages means that your mind has worked to master 2 different systems, and it's just like learning music, where you are learning a different language, a different skill, and that is wonderful for your brain. Like math or anything else, it helps you develop your cognitive abilities in any other thing you do.
And I feel like it's definitely going to help me in the future because I am a global business major and I want to apply my ability to speak both dialects of Chinese and apply that in my work environment.
It was actually a blessing in disguise that I knew 2 languages, because it showed my diversity. It showed that I was able to learn a language and retain that information. And so, in some way, I had an upper hand over other people. Also, by having 2 languages in my back pocket, I was able to learn how to speak Spanish and French. And so, I was able to distinguish the differences between all 4 languages. And so now I'm in my senior year, and I have 4 languages in my back pocket.
I'm an advocate for bilingualism.
I am the advocate for 2 languages.
I advocate for bilingualism.
So yes, I am a big advocate for bilingualism.
I'm completely an advocate to keep learning languages.
We are advocates for bilingualism. Are you?